Hi everybody, this is the investing teacher, high school science teacher, teaching others how to invest. In this August 2021 update video, I want to go over some of my cash secured put and covered call positions I made for the month of August, the net profit that I received on closed orders. I'm going to compare that to the S&P 500 for August, which is near all-time highs, and looking at some possible rollovers for September that I'm going to be buying to close shortly. If you're interested in seeing all the trades that I make, along with one-on-one help from me and a private Discord with recommendations and picks, join that Patreon. It's patreon.com/investingteacher. It's in the description down below. It'll be free for the whole month of September. You can test drive it out. Ask me any questions you might have on selling these cash secured puts and covered calls. Main goal is to try to get at least 4% a month on all the positions. Typically buy to close them around 2%. And many times, as you'll see, you could buy to close them pretty early, and you could average easily 2 to 4% in most months. So again, if you're interested, let me know, comment down below or check the description, and let's get right to those positions. Okay, here's the August 2021 results. If you're interested in joining the Patreon, you'll see all these positions. They load in real time, and I posted in the private Discord, so you could easily join along with any of the trades that I make. So let's look at the month returns for each month of the year so far. You see in August for 2021, I'm at 1996. Pretty good year for the stock market there. Total return for the year is $14,390, starting the position only in a few months at 10, 12,000. And then I started to put the maximum amount of my Roth IRA into it. Total invested is lower than the previous month at 40,637, and that's mostly because of the Wish and MOXC. The share price actually went down quite a bit there. I wasn't assigned on them yet. I'm just selling covered calls on it. So eventually, if they bounce back, it should be good on the total amount invested. Percent gain was a 4.9%, and these are from closed positions. So these are positions that I started either this month or the previous month, and I bought to close them or got exercised in August. So that's all I'm counting on my percent gains. As you can see, I made a 4.9% gain for the month, while the S&P 500 went 3.09. Every single month this year, I did beat out the S&P 500, and S&P 500 has been doing really well as well. But selling these cash secured puts, covered calls, and the high implied volatility positions could sometimes beat out that S&P, and doing pretty consistent on these results this year. Hopefully, fingers crossed here, I could beat it out every month of the year, but take what the market gives us. We're at mercy of the market anyway. Okay, I'm just going to go over some of the brief positions here. These are all the positions I made. Okay, if you join the group, you'll see cash secured put or covered call, name of the stock, date I sold it, and expiration date. Some of these go out into other months, like September. I write the stock price, the strike price. If you compare these two columns, pretty much all of these are much lower than what the current price is, unless you're looking at covered calls, for instance. And then the premium received, the delta on the positions. I write down what I bought to close these out. So these are all closed positions because I sold a covered call or cash secured put and I bought to close them. And then you take a premium, subtract the buy to close numbers to get your profit or loss. So some of the main positions that I'm working on for now, MOXC, I do have a cash secured put position at 10 right now, out to September 17th. The stock's around 750 or so. So this one I might get assigned on in a month. Covered calls at 10, they'll pay pretty well, so I don't necessarily mind it. IVR, I did a long-term covered call all the way out to January. The reason why is it was a lot of positions. The share price is relatively low at 3 to 4. And this does pay a good dividend. Might get about 8% a year in dividends. The premium I received on 9 positions was $216. And if it hits the strike price of 4, I'll show a slight capital gain as well, plus the dividends, plus the premiums. This is pretty much a set it and forget it. Wait until January and see if it hits 4. If not, just sell more covered calls and keep receiving that income. The WISP position, I did do some covered calls at 9, and as you'll see more, there's a lot more positions on Wish. Lucid been rolling and wheeling pretty well consistently throughout. I had one for 827. Made $148 in premium. Bought to close at only 22 bucks. Pretty big gain there at 126. BBIG, I actually just got assigned the shares on it from 350 covered call. Stock price was at 293 at the time. And because of that, I had to actually accept shares of BBIG. Some more positions here. MOXC covered call went out to 1250. That is one of my low positions because my cost base is around 16 there. Made 69 bucks on it. So still getting about 3% or so a month in premium. As long as I can get at least 2% a month, I don't necessarily mind it. You see a lot of the stable CCIV, RKT, VIPs. I do quite a bit of those. CVM, I've been doing a lot of cash secured puts, pretty short out of the money. $54 premium, about to close at 30 literally a few days later for a quick 24 bucks. As you can see with BBIG, I did get exercise on the end of the month because the stock went up to 7. That is one of the detriments to selling covered calls. Sometimes your stock could go up. But in this case, I did write a net loss of $696 because my cost basis was about 4. I'm sorry, not the cost basis. The cost basis was around 3.1, but I bought the shares at 4.15 or so. So in the end with CCIV, it was a net gain of about 40 cents per share, and I did 1,200 shares. But I did show the net loss here because I sold at 3.5 and I initially bought the shares at 4 and change. A few more other positions I made. Again, the BBIG, I sold the cash secured put on the end of August, all the way to 917. I moved the strike up to 4 instead of 350, and the stock is at 623. $25 per position. I did 10 instead of 12 because the share price went up a bit, but I made 250 bucks in premium. Looking at this video on September 1st, I could already buy to close these at about 150, 170 or so. Might hold on to them a few more days, try to buy to close them at 50% off. These are some positions that I did not close yet, so they will be pretty much guaranteed income received in September. Lucid, I have one for 903. It's going to make about $150 there. RKT, relatively small position, getting about $40. I'm doing covered calls on Wish at a pretty low covered call price. Weekly's at 8.5 right now. It's got to be very careful and watch it closely because my total share price is in the 12s. I'm selling weekly covered calls at 8.5 to try to boost a little bit more of the premium. If the stock ever goes really close to the covered call, I will be rolling up and out on it. Workhorse going to get pretty decent premium on. Cost basis is around 11, and I sold the covered call at 11. Pretty good premiums, about 3 to 4% a month. And then MOXC, I'm going to be receiving some premium on those 1250 covered calls. And so one of the biggest things that I deal with in the next few months are Wish and MOXC. I did receive a decent amount of premiums on it. However, the current share price is quite a bit lower than what the cost, not the cost basis, but what I actually bought the shares at. So I'm being very careful in my strike prices. I'm trying to get very close to the cost basis as much as possible. So if I do sell the cost basis, then at least there won't be any capital gains or losses, but still receiving some covered call premium. For Wish, I'm actually going below my cost basis, which is a little scary at times, because if you happen to get a sign on that, you're going to show a pretty big net loss there. But I'm just going to go weeklies. I'm looking at deltas 0.1, 0.15 or so, just watching it carefully. If it makes a ride up, just roll it up and out. And in those cases, at least the premium won't be necessarily as big. But until then, if I have a good buffer looking 15 to 20% out of the money in a week, most stocks don't necessarily do that, unless you're BBIG, of course. So anyway, I'm the investing teacher, high school science teacher, teaching others how to invest. If you could write a quick comment on how you did this month in your cash secured puts covered calls, I'd like to see everyone's results there. If you mind sharing it, you don't have to share very high details there or anything like that. If there's any questions at all about any of my positions, just leave a comment down below. I'll read and respond to all comments. And keep on trading. Be good out there, and I'll see you guys next time.